What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, January 11th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 23:37 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we still have U.S. nuclear forces on very high alert. And this all started on Wednesday when over 100 Skymaster messages along with EAMs were broadcasted in just one day, which I personally have not heard that many Skymasters and EAMs in a single day since I've been tracking them for the last couple of years. So what happened Wednesday morning and throughout the day on Wednesday, in my opinion, was as serious and as intense as Culinary Night, which was last April, when we were listening to the U.S. arm B-52 nuclear bombers, arming the missiles for potential strikes on Iran. We were hearing U.S. nuclear forces transmitting authentication codes and arming codes for the AGM-86 air-launched cruise missiles. We were tracking the B-52s flying over the ocean and the aerial refuelers that met them near the Straits of Gibraltar. That was all night long. They were transmitting these Skymaster messages and arming codes for these missiles, and this was for a potential attack on Iran. This was right after Iran launched a missile strike on Israel for the first time ever, the massive missile strike, and Israel was planning a response, and a couple of days after is when Culinary Night happened. So this was as serious as Culinary Night, Dozens and dozens of Skymaster messages being broadcasted, which, if you don't know what those are the highest priority nuclear codes that are transmitted by U.S. Strategic Command right below the emergency war order, which is the order to launch the nukes and the actual launch codes, So this is the highest priority message below actual launch orders. So basically what happened was on Wednesday of this week, U.S. nuclear forces flip the safety switch off and cock the hammer, If you want to think of a firearm, or pistol, revolver, cocking the hammer back, the only thing left to do is to squeeze the trigger. And so we potentially could have been on DEFCON 2 level of alert on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, everything quieted down, and then Thursday, they were going back to back with emergency action messages all day on Wednesday, about 30 of them. Yesterday, also the same thing. And then today, we had a bunch of emergency action messages as well. So about 30 today. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. 30 yesterday, 30 on Thursday, and then over 100 Skymaster messages and EAMs on Wednesday. So 4 days in a row, our nuclear forces are broadcasting codes like crazy. So something is going on. The U.S. military has some kind of intelligence, and they're on very high alert. And On Friday, yesterday, 2 presidential doomsday planes were scrambled from Offutt Air Base in Nebraska at the same time. One went up to Lake Superior, and another one was scrambled with 2 aerial refuelers. Okay, they don't do that unless there's some kind of major threat. Okay, in addition to that, 2 nuke sniffers went airborne at the same time. A B-52 went airborne out of Barksdale and Shreveport, and then a B-1 went airborne as well from Dyess Air Force Base. Okay, and then a combat scent went up to Alaska. We only have 2 of those planes in the entire U.S. military, and they provide intelligence directly to the president. So all these planes going airborne at the same time. Most concerning, the 2 doomsday planes, and one of them with 2 refuelers. Okay, so we must have intelligence of something. What that is, I don't know. I heard today that there were some radio transmissions coming from Kapustin Yar, which is the missile launch site that Russia used to launch the Oreshnik the first time they used it against Ukraine. We know that Russia has been planning another Oreshnik strike on Ukraine for the last few weeks, and they did close down the airspace over Kapustin Yar until Trump's inauguration, starting, I think, Monday, from the 13th to the 18th, so all next week. The airspace over Kapustin Yar is closed. And then also the Rostov Flight Information Region also has its airspace closed as well over the next week. Okay, so something is brewing for all these messages to be broadcasted, and the Skymaster messages on Wednesday, like I said, the highest priority nuclear codes transmitted by U.S. Strategic Command right below the actual launch orders. Now here's a sample of one of those Skymaster messages, and what was interesting is they came in really weak, like 3/4 of the messages came in really weak. For some reason, I don't know why, but potentially there could have been even more Skymasters than 100, because that's just based on what we heard, okay? But there could have been many that they were transmitting that we didn't actually hear, that our radios weren't picking up. But here's a sample of one.
Skymaster. One message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee, Alpha, Romeo, Sierra, for Indy 13. I say again, one message of 4 items follows. Stand by. Yankee, Alpha, Romeo, Sierra. Over. Is complete. One message of 4 items. This is ND13 out.
So anytime I hear these messages, I get chills down my spine, because these are literally orders to our nuclear forces to arm the missiles, to cock the hammer, to take the safety off, okay? And then today, all evening, we've had this mysterious alarm being broadcasted on one of the Russian military frequencies. This is the same frequency that the Stalingrad clock has been playing, and also the Russian national anthem, actually the Soviet national anthem, and they alternate usually between the Soviet anthem and the Stalingrad clock. But all day today, the alarms have been playing again on this frequency. Every now and then you'll hear these alarms, but this is definitely some kind of a psychological warfare trick by the Russians. Maybe it's a warning, okay, but let me play it for you. Really eerie and creepy. So get prepared, guys. Make sure you have your bug out bags packed and ready to go. Think about where you'd go if we were attacked here in the U.S. by Russia with nuclear weapons. Do you have a fallout shelter? Check out my nuclear war survival videos. And last night, Ukraine launched possibly the largest drone attack on Russia since the war started. Over 120 Ukrainian drones attacked Russian border areas. The Russian Ministry of Defense said over 80 drones were shot down. There were heavy explosions reported in the Voronezh and Kursk oblasts. And the Russian political scientist Sergei Markov named the date for the start of fighting in another region of Ukraine. According to Markov's calculations, in about 2 to 3 weeks, the Russian military will enter the territory of the Dnipropetrovsk region of Ukraine from several directions. Okay, so that's pretty concerning. And White House National Security Advisor John Kirby said he currently sees no readiness for negotiations from either Ukraine or Russia. Okay, so no hope for negotiations. And I want to update you guys on the wildfires. So here's the latest fires map from NASA. This is all the latest active fires over the last week. And you can see the Palisades fire here has spread massively into this area to the north. Okay, the last 2 days the fire was kind of localized here closer to Santa Monica and Malibu, but now the fire has spread north, like up towards North Hollywood and Calabasas. Okay, and there's also a lot of fires in the West Hollywood and Hollywood area that they're not showing on this satellite. I do believe that they're hiding a lot of the fires and the severity of the situation, but you can see this huge area here to the north that just popped up today on the NASA satellite, okay? And then we have this massive fire here, the Eaton fire, which has taken down the Mount Wilson Observatory, okay? But look at how massive these fires are, okay? They're like a quarter the size of LA, okay? And so there's really bad air quality here. And also tonight through tomorrow, they're forecasting critical fire weather conditions, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, okay? Relative humidities between 10 and 20%, guys. That's like a desert, okay? That is bone dry, not even 40% humidity, which is very dry. We're talking 10 to 20% humidity. That is just like really, really dry, almost zero moisture in the air, okay? So these fires are going to continue to spread, especially after tonight and tomorrow. And we have a new community that was evacuated. This was the Mountain Gate community. It's a giant, like, country club and really wealthy houses around this country club, really big houses, expensive houses, as you can see. And in the background behind these houses, you can see all the flames there, the hills on fire. Okay, so they had to evacuate this whole neighborhood. This is up in the mountains, okay, pretty high up in the mountains over there. Also, we were listening to the scanner traffic last night, and apparently the emergency responders had to shut down the power to all of the Mandeville Canyon area. Okay, so Mandeville Canyon is now being overtaken by the fire. They had to cut the power. And the Los Angeles County Emergency Management Agency has announced that they've lost control of their alert system. Okay, so they're losing communications because the fires are taking out all the communications towers that are up in those hills. Okay, so all of LA has their communications towers up in those hills because it's high ground and the signal's broadcasted real strong down to the valley below. And that fire's threatening all those comm sites, okay? So this is very, very concerning. And the LA County Sheriff Robert Luna has confirmed that there are curfews in effect for the mandatory evacuation zones from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every night. And the other day I showed you guys the pictures of the military police with the California National Guard that were being deployed to LA. There's already looting going on, so we need to pray for the people in LA that are being affected by these fires. And we heard that a lot of the insurance companies last summer canceled their policies for this area. So did they know ahead of time? Did they get tipped off by the powers that be that this fire was going to be intentionally set for some reason? I don't know. Okay, but it's really strange that they canceled their insurance policies just a few months before this fire happened. It reminds me of 9/11, where the owners of the Twin Towers took out a larger insurance policy just like, 2 months before the towers came down. Okay, but here we have video footage of police shutting down one of the highways in this evacuation zone. Okay, and we know that basically all of Hollywood has been evacuated. There's a mandatory evacuation zone now for Hollywood from Sunset Boulevard all the way to the Encino Reservoir. Okay, so very serious situation over there with these fires. And the Israeli Air Force launched more strikes on the Houthis. This was yesterday. Here we have video footage that the Israeli military posted of them carrying out these strikes on Yemen, on the Houthis. Okay, you can see their F-16s here. So the Israelis are not messing around. And speaking of Israel and the Middle East, the Iranians released this propaganda video showing their underground missile facilities. Okay, here's one of their underground missile cities. Okay, so this is literally a giant city under a mountain with thousands of missiles potentially. Okay, so check this out. This is totally insane, unless these are just props, fake missiles. But I mean, I don't see how they would be. They look legit to me. Okay, and here they have the American and Israeli flags painted on the ground so they can walk on them every time they go into this bunker. Okay, but what I noticed about this bunker when I was looking at this video, even right now, you can see these massive air ducts up on the ceiling, and you can see just how massive they are. There's 3 of them there, and compared to these dudes down here, those are really large ducts, maybe 3 to 4 feet in diameter. And if you have massive air ducts like that, it means that you have a huge facility that you need to bring fresh air into, because remember, it's underground, so they need oxygen. Okay, so this is a monstrous facility here. This could be the size of Cheyenne Mountain. Okay, here they are showing the missiles being launched. Absolutely insane. So we're very concerned here on the NYPrepper channel about Iran launching more strikes on Israel and obtaining nuclear weapons. Let's hope and pray that that never happens, because that would be really, really bad for the world and especially for Israel. Okay, but here you can see a bunch of these missiles here. Look at these tunnels. These tunnels just go on and on. I mean, this is like something out of a Call of Duty game, and you can see these giant blast doors here, more of those massive air ducts on the ceiling. Okay, just missiles all over the place, okay, in this facility. Okay, look at all these missiles here. Absolutely insane. So we have to keep an eye on the Middle East, guys, okay? Even though it's quieted down over there, at any time Iran can launch a surprise attack on Israel. Okay, look at all these missiles, just totally insane. Wow, look at that. It's like hundreds of missiles here. Look at that. Absolutely insane. And here we have a post from the National Weather Service about the fire conditions in LA. You can see here critical fire conditions in effect through Wednesday. Los Angeles and Ventura counties, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, highest in the mountains, humidity's 10 to 15%. Okay, so very, very bad situation, guys. Very bad. You can see updated Saturday, January 11th. Existing fires and new fire starts may grow rapidly with extreme fire behavior. Okay, extreme fire behavior. So we ain't seen nothing yet, guys. Okay, they're forecasting 70-mile-per-hour winds, highest in the mountains, which is exactly where the fires are. Okay, so these fires could double or triple in size by just Monday. All right, and I want to just show you guys all the snow laying on the ground in the United States. We had a lot of snow yesterday and just this past week. Here you can see a lot of the southern states covered in several inches of snow. You can see Dallas and northern Texas, north of Dallas, has 4 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. Oklahoma has 8 to 12 in some areas. Arkansas, 8 to 12 inches. Tennessee and Kentucky have several inches of snow. Okay, West Virginia. A lot of these places are not used to having a lot of snow, especially like Dallas. You know, they don't get a lot of snow. Okay, so we are in a La Nina right now, which favors colder northern hemisphere winters. But just get prepared if you live in an area that doesn't normally have a lot of snow. It looks like this winter we're going to be getting a lot more snow, and we are in that La Nina pattern. Okay, and here we have a picture of a tunnel that was discovered under the U.S.-Mexican border. It was discovered by U.S. and Mexican law enforcement, and this tunnel was connecting El Paso to Juarez. Okay, look at how sophisticated this tunnel is. I mean, this isn't like some, half-assed tunnel that was dug out by shovels. Maybe it was dug out by shovels, but you can see properly reinforced and very clean. Okay, so this could be where they smuggle people through. Okay, the human traffickers, they smuggle people through these types of tunnels. They smuggle drugs, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so we need to lock down that southern border. I do believe that Trump will do that. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will continue to monitor the situation with the fire and also with our nuclear forces and everything else around the world. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.